those of you who have been listening to my channel since the beginning understand that I am a huge advocate for spiritual beings. Periodically, I will take time out to talk about spirit beings that are out there and just to urge you to acknowledge them. I had an experience, actually the last experience I had, which was a beyond body experience, not necessarily an astral projection experience. But in this experience, I was in a house and there were these ladies. And one of the things that stood out for me was the fact that when I tried to communicate with them, they weren't responding. Now, one of the reasons why this was unusual to me is when I am in the beyond body state, normally I can communicate with the beings around me. So it struck me as quite odd. But when I gave it some more thought, well, obviously these ladies were unable to see me in the state that I was in. Now, I'm not sure what state that I was in, actually. It's interesting. I'm not sure what or how I appeared at that point, but obviously they weren't able to see me. And reaching out to them, trying to speak to them, and them not responding to me just made me think about a few things. You know, I know that there are people out there that feel that it might be cool to be invisible and to walk around and, you know, to not have people see you, and how cool would that be? But in this situation, and actually in other situations, I've really given it some deep thought. Think about this for a second. Think about approaching a loved one, a friend, family. Perhaps you've known them for all your life and you've passed on, but for whatever reason you've decided to stick around. Whatever reason that might be, it is truly your choice to do this. And perhaps, you know, you want to reach out to whoever that loved one is. So you stand there and try to talk to them. You try to communicate with them. You try to connect with them in some way, and you can't. Think about how frustrating that would be. Think about trying to talk to your wife, your child, anyone, and them not responding to you. You saying, hello, John, Mary, or whomever it is that you're trying to talk to, I love you, and them not responding to you or not hearing you. How heartbreaking must that be for the beings that do decide to stick around, that do want to reach out and connect with those they were close to in life? This last experience I had in the beyond body really truly made me think about this, and perhaps that's the reason why I had that experience. I just wanted to take a moment out to again talk about acknowledging these beings who walk around us and they're not seen, but, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. Where I work, I know, or at least I feel this way, that there is a being or beings that exist in that place. And I can sense them when I'm working. I haven't really talked about it on this channel at all, actually. I've never mentioned it. But the one thing that I do, and I don't know what state these beings are in, but the one thing I do is I try when I sense them to acknowledge them each time. I would urge those of you who have perhaps that same kind of ability, that you are sensitive to beings that are invisible, that don't have a body. I would urge you to acknowledge them as well. And certainly, I'm sure that there are folks out there that listen to this that are sensitive in that way. This is also something I would urge you to do when you leave your body. Communicate with them. It's just not fair the way horror films have portrayed these beings, or even television shows, ghost hunters, all this business. Anyway, these are things that I've mentioned before, but as I said, periodically, I just want to take a moment out and talk about this because I think it's important. Please, please, I urge you, take a moment out and just acknowledge their existence. That's all. It's really just simple. Hello. How are you? I hope all is well. Even if you don't hear them, they're there. They'll hear you. Anyway, that's it. Very short episode, and yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on another journey with me, and until next time, take care.